Okay, here's a real quick video of some of the things I do for kind of, a shouting music type stuff. And then just some smooth chords or chord progressions that I kind of play uh, around the preacher before and after, kind of when they're wrapping up, kind of more of a calmer type thing. So let's start with shouting. So I'm going to do in the key of G for shouting. And just to keep it kind of simple, and I'm going to do more of the simple concepts because it can get a little complicated. But one of the simple things is just a bounce on an octave of G. You can add the 5 in there with the D sometimes, but I usually just keep the octave G. And then you're going to hit the 5 and 6, which is D and E. Especially if you got the drums going and you got a bass player playing that G. And that can kind of come in off of if you do the F sharp, G7, or G9 chord if you add that 2 in there. F sharp, G9, and my voicing is I'm playing F, A, B, and D in my right hand, G and D in my left. So probably heard that in other faster songs. Come on and give the Lord the highest praise does that. When I think about the Lord and what he's done for me. Okay, so you can kind of come off that and then go into, kind of behind the scenes. So that 9 you can really hold. A lot of it is kind of holds and rhythms. Another thing that's very common that I do is the 3, 4, 4 sharp 5 run. So that's in G, that's B, C, C sharp, D. You may have heard that. A lot of times you'll end a song and then they'll do that as a turnaround. And then hit a D chord. So a faster song you can use as a turnaround, but also I break that down and use those chords. So I'll do a G over B. I'm doing a G2, G, A, B, D over B. Okay, into a C7 chord or C9 chord. Okay, so that's G, B flat, C, D, E. It's actually a suspended chord as well, but if you take off the D. Okay. Alright, so you get that kind of bounce. Alright, so you get that bounce. Alright, and then the next part is I'll do a D flat diminished chord. And that is D flat in the left hand. And I'm playing G, B flat, D flat, E. Alright, and I'll bounce right to this chord right here. Okay, this is a D7 chord, naturally, with G flat, A, C, D's in the bass, but I'm also adding the flat 3 in there as well, the F, giving it a little flavor. So all together it's like... And you can leave off that and just kind of, when you hold it, add that in if you want. Okay. And then if you want to run that into something where you're playing that, there's all kinds of runs you can do right there by 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you can just continue going all the way to G. That's F sharp, G. So you can kind of get that and start playing, kind of bring that in. And when you play, a lot of times it's just bouncing that G to that C kind of chord right there. So G2 there, and then I just kind of take my fingers off of the G, A, and B, leave it on G, but put that on the C, D, E. Okay. Slide off that B flat some to the B. Gets that more swingy. So, you kind of of get that bounce. Then you can go to that C7 or C9 chord. Yeah. So back to G. And then another thing I do is I'll walk it down. So you're kind of just holding those, bouncing. You can walk it down. G, D over F sharp. That's F sharp, A, D over F sharp. E minor 7, I'm doing a G over E here. And then come to A7. A7, G, or A9, G, B, D flat, E. And then I'll do the D, that D chord, and back to G. So you're gonna. So those are just kind of different concepts. Try to keep it a little bit more simple. Another thing, all right, so for kind of more smooth chords, I'm going to go to B flat because that's one of my favorite keys to play. So a couple chord, just a couple chord progressions I do. Well, first of all, on either shouting music or slow music, you can do 1 to 4 a lot. Your 1, so in slower music, I'll kind of go into that major 7 by rolling down from the B flat to the A. And I'm playing it inverted, so I'm doing F, B flat, D. Okay? Into the E flat, major 9 chord. So that's G, B flat, D, F. So a lot of times I'll do. Very soft behind it, okay? That's one thing. And then another thing is I'll walk up to E flat from B flat, B flat, okay? C minor 7, which is G, B flat, C, E flat, to B flat over D, to that E flat major 9. Another one is I'll walk the other way, B flat, F over A. Okay, and then I'll do this cool chord to get to the 6 minor 7. So it's what I'm doing is a passing chord there. This is a D 7 flat 9 chord. So I'm playing D in my bass hand, G flat, A, C, and then E flat. To that G minor 7. So that's B flat, F over A. Okay, then I'll do, a lot of times I'll go right to the E flat. So. And then one last one I'll show you that I really love is doing, let's see here. I'll do I'm going to go to switch to the key of C just so that my hands are all in the video. But so I'm going to do a 6, 5, 4, 5 kind of chord. So I'll do an A minor 7, G, G2, F major 7. That's F, F, A, C, E. Back to G suspended. G, C, D, and then throw it in a B. So it sounds like. So those are just a few chord progressions that I'll play during preaching soft, and then some of those fast concepts. What I would really say about the fast song is that find a couple fast songs like when I think of His goodness and what He's done for me, or come on to give the Lord the highest praise, songs like that, and just take the concepts out of that song and use it. You're not necessarily playing the whole song, but you're playing portions of it at a time, and you may be just doing that. Holding some chords. I just went from that G to that C chord, right? And then you may want to start amping it up, and then you can bounce on that, and you kind of piece it together. The big thing about shout music is rhythm. And so if you got a good drummer and a bass player that can kind of walk around with you while you're doing some of that stuff, you can take more liberties. And then on the worship stuff, on the slower stuff, you can take aspects of songs and kind of just loop them, sustain them. The big thing is sustaining the chords. Playing with the individual notes and just letting it ring. That's the big difference. So hopefully this helps a little bit, and if you have any comments or any suggestions you'd like to add to help me, I would love to hear it. Thanks.